Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Brad Pitt. It seems like Angelina Jolie is on a mission to ruin Brad Pitt's career, just like Amber Heard did to Johnny Depp. Back in 2022, people obtained a reacted FBI report that Angelina anonymously submitted a Freedom of Information Act request. In the documents, the actress alleged to the authorities that while Brad was under the influence, he was menacing towards her and 6 of their kids on September 14, 2016 during a flight from France to Los Angeles. The investigation would then be closed by November of 2022, and no charges were ever pursued, but that hasn't stopped Angelina from submitting more claims to the media. A source even close to Brad has claimed that both Brad and Angelina have had the documents in question for years, and by Angelina submitting the documents, it means that she is trying to revive issues that were solved to hurt Brad's career. With the documents being filed with evidence that wasn't really accurate or proven, Brad has been lucky enough to escape Angelina's hands of destruction for now, but it seems like she doesn't want to give up just yet, and we could see her ruin his career very shortly. Number 9. Tyga. At one point, there wasn't a song people didn't know when it came to Tyga's career, but after he and Kylie Jenner split, it seems like a lot of people chose to abandon Tyga altogether, which is pretty sad as he's an amazing artist. It seems like now when his songs do come on, everybody in the room goes, oh my god, I forgot about this song, and it proves after his relationship ended with Kylie, he became pretty irrelevant. Even back in 2017, Kylie reportedly had to ask Kanye West to help Tyga with his stalling career because she saw her ex was struggling after the split and she felt really bad for him. An inside source close to Kylie would then reveal to Hollywood Life that Kylie doesn't want to see her ex fall apart just because they weren't together. Once Kylie realized that Tyga's career was stalling after their breakup, she was a little concerned, so she reached out to Kanye to see what they could do to revive Tyga's career. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8. Rupert Saunders. When British director Rupert Saunders was chosen to direct Snow White and the Huntsman for his feature film debut, it seemed like a start of a pretty promising career for Rupert. But just weeks after the film lackluster theatrical debut, he and Kristen Stewart were captured in a compromising position together. While both came out to issue public apologies about the affair, as Kristen cheated on her Twilight co-star Robert Pattinson, Rupert was unfaithful to his wife of 10 years, Liberty Ross. While Kristen's career was able to continue on throughout the scandal, it would take Rupert years to secure a second feature of his directorial gig with his 2017 Ghost in a Shell, which was crushed by critics, by the way. At the time, he was also still imploring the public to forgive and forget, but even when he came out to say, everyone makes mistakes and I am bound to make many more mistakes and I wouldn't expect my life to be exciting if I didn't, people still couldn't forgive and forget, and it's caused his art in the directing field to come to a complete halt. Number 7. Kris Humphries. It seems like if you enter into the Kardashian family, in even the smallest of capacities, your reputation is at risk. I mean, just ask Jordan Woods and Scott Disick. But if you need more proof, you can always look at the long list of ex-friends, ex-stylists, ex-boyfriends, and ex-husbands. And this is exactly what happened to NBA star Kris Humphries, who became a laughingstock of both Hollywood and the basketball scene after his highly publicized marriage to Kim Kardashian ended after just 72 days. Just after, in December 2011, Kris would find himself being booed during basketball games, and he would be put into a position where he bounced from team to team before landing with the Philadelphia 76ers, but his time with the team wouldn't last long as he would be waived from their roster in October 2017. And that would be the last time Kris would professionally dribble a basketball on the court. That same year, Kim would then sit down in an interview with Watch What Happens Live where she would admit that she knew while she was on her honeymoon with Kris that their relationship wasn't going to work out. Now it seems like Kris has found a new passion in life as he co-owns several Five Guy burger shops and is a franchisee of a salad eatery. Number 6. Robin Thicke. After Robin Thicke dominated the charts for the entire summer of 2013 with his hit single Blurred Lines, Robin's career essentially died overnight after his wife wife Paula Patton filed for divorce in October 2014, citing irreconcilable differences as the cause for their split. According to TMZ, Robin tried to win back Paula by releasing his sappy album Paula in 2014, but it was apparently a flop with its namesake and his fans, as the album only sold 530 copies in its debut week in the UK. And from there, things only got worse for Robin, as months after filing to the end of their marriage, Paula not only accused Robin of cheating on her with several different women, but she also accused him of physical and emotional abuse, infidelity, and even said he had an addiction to substances. Then during the couple's bitter custody battle for their son Julian, Paula then asked the court to grant her a temporary restraining order against Robin, which was ultimately granted until the courts ordered them to have shared custody of their son. Number 5. Meg Ryan. During Meg Ryan's heyday, she was one of America's most in-demand screen sweethearts, as she went on to nab the romantic lead in a slew of successful pictures that included Sleepless in Seattle, When Harry Met Sally, and You Got Mail. But just as she was rising to the top to be the girl next door, her image would be shattered after rumors started to claim that she was having an affair with Proof of Life co-star Russell Crowe. The tabloid's frenzied affair was then publicly perceived as the reason for her divorce from her husband of 9 years, and what led to the serious decline in her popularity. Later, Meg would deny her fling with Russell for being the reason behind her divorce when she told Harper Bazaar, "I definitely have moments of wanting to straighten it all out and tell everyone what really went down, but you know, who would I be proving anything to?" Though there may be plenty of blame to go around, Meg's affair was the beginning of the end of her career, and her household name would be left behind in the 90s. And number 4, we have Ryan Philippe. Ryan Philippe's relationship with Reese Witherspoon was intense when the pair starred as the romantic leads in the 1999 romantic drama Cruel Intentions, and attracted a generation of followers deeply invested in the couple's marriage and their 2 kids. Many thought their love would be a happily ever after, but when their union fell apart 8 years later, many fans would be furious after rumors emerged and claimed that Ryan had cheated on Reese. That very same year, Ryan allegedly stepped out with his stop-loss co-star Abby Cornish. Even though Reese and Ryan went on to be successful co-parents for their kids, Ryan's career hasn't quite revived from all the negative press associated with the pair's breakup. And seemingly overnight, he lost the Hollywood heartthrob status he once boasted in films such as I Know What You Did Last Summer and Flags of Our Fathers. Since Ryan has grown weary of the public's cruel criticism, he once told Howard Stern in 2010 that he was tired of being blamed and that he didn't feel like he deserved all the scrutiny as things just happen. Number 3. Jude Law. Jude Law's affair with his children's nanny became a true celebrity spectacle after the actor's secret went public in 2005. It would eventually cause his team to force him to issue an apology to his then fiancée, Sienna Miller, for the affair. In his apology, he would say, "I just want to say I'm deeply ashamed and upset I've hurt Sienna and the people close to us. There is no defense for my action, which I sincerely regret." While this wouldn't be the first time he's been accused of infidelity with his partners in the past, the high-profile nature of his relationship with Miller caused more damage to Jude's career, as before his transgressions, Jude enjoyed an A-list status in leading roles such as Cold Mountain and Closer. But after the affair, it took him many years to recoup his mainstream appeal by the way of Sherlock Holmes. While his career seems to be doing just fine these days, it's probably just because he's been keeping his personal life pretty low-key. Number 2. Tiger Woods. Few professional golfers have earned the kind of household name status of Tiger Woods, and even fewer have watched their reputations fade away as they sunk into the mud like Tiger did in 2009, after his extramarital affairs were exposed, after Tiger's wife at the time, Ellen Nordegren, gave birth to the couple's second child. The tabloids would unearth one of Tiger's relationships with another woman. After Tiger lost his family-friendly face, he would lose millions in endorsement deals, and he was even to blame for billions of shareholder losses. Even his golf game suffered as a result of his personal drama back Back in 2013, Woods would briefly recover his career, but his personal activities tarnished his image again after new allegations surfaced and claimed he cheated on beloved Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn. And while most of the public has forgotten about Tiger's past transgressions, it seems like his reputation may still be holding him back from success. And coming in number 1 today, we have Ned Fulmer. So ex-BuzzFeed employee Ned Fulmer is known because of his role with the popular YouTube channel The Try Guys, as he helped them grow an audience to tune of millions on BuzzFeed's publication platform before he and his colleagues decided to go independent. In addition to the cheating entertaining content with his colleagues, Ned went on to brand himself as the ultimate family guy just after he and his wife Ariel marked their 5th anniversary in 2017. He shared that he had no doubt about picking her as his partner, as it was love at first sight. However, in September 2022, Ned would prove otherwise, as just over 10 years after the couple tied the knot, the house that Ned built came tumbling down, as it would be exposed that Ned had cheated on his wife with a member of the staff. The cheating allegation was then later confirmed by Ned himself when he put out an Instagram statement saying, "Family should have always been my priority, but I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship." The Try Guys then went on to remove Ned from the platform and later announced that Ned wouldn't be making any appearances on the pre-recorded material going forward. Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Kanye West. After losing his billionaire status due to brand endorsement deals canceling their partnership with Kanye, after he started to spread hate speech across the internet, Kanye would soon be left with only $400 million to his name, which is a far cry from the $1.8 billion he used to be worth in the first half of 2022. To make matters even worse, after his divorce was finalized, he would then be ordered to pay Kim Kardashian another $2.4 million per year, which equals out to be $200,000 a month for child support. He also needs to split the cost of healthcare, security, and educational expenses with his ex-wife in the process. But the money altogether is just really strange, as Kim is already worth $1.7 billion. Not only would Kanye lose a large sum of his money, but he would also lose his $60 million home that he shared with Kim during their settlement. Altogether, after 6 years being married to Kanye, he would ultimately end up losing $2.1 billion in assets that he shared with his ex-wife, which included a mansion in California, in Calabasas, a Miami condo, and 2 ranches in Wyoming, art, vehicles, jewelry, and livestock. Number 9, Amber Heard. When Amber Heard filed for divorce from Johnny Depp in 2016 after being married to the actor for 15 months, she would later be awarded $7 million in the divorce settlement, which she said she would be donating to charity. But the process wasn't as clean cut, as the pair's court battles quickly turned ugly as Amber started to spread lies to ruin Johnny's career. The former couple then went on to spend most of 2020 and 2021 in court for a libel case against UK's The Sun. After Depp lost the suit in appeal in 2022, the pair would then return to court for a defamation trial Johnny brought against Amber over a 2018 article she penned for The Washington Post. When the court proceedings for the case kicked off on April 11, 2022, both actors made bombshell allegations of physical, emotional, and mental abuse against each other. On June 1st, 7-person jury then reached a verdict and decided that Johnny proved his ex-wife defamed him. The jury then awarded Johnny with another $15 million in damages, though Amber would only have to pay $10 million due to Virginia law cap on punitive damages. She would win 1 of 3 defamation counts, and she was awarded $2 million in damages. Both parties appealed, but back in December, Amber announced she settled with her ex, and he donated the $1 million he received from her to charity. After all the expense, Amber is now worth -$6 million. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? So don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8, Wiz Khalifa. While it's honestly pretty easy to look at numbers that were involved in Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose's divorce, the numbers alone will make you wince. Thank God the couple had a prenup. Then Wiz Khalifa would have lost more than he was set to lose during their divorce. As per their prenup, Wiz Khalifa would be forced to fork out $1 million to pay Amber Rose, and he would be forced to pay Amber child support payments of $14,800. TMZ would then later report that Wiz was able to keep most of his assets, which included their shared home and 10 of their cars. It's also worth noting that there wasn't any hard feelings between the pair, as after their divorce they were both seen celebrating together in an X-rated club for one final hurrah. Number 7, Steven Spielberg. Just because because Steven Spielberg was the greatest director alive, it didn't mean that he was immune to problems with his love life. At the height of his career in 1985, Steven probably made the biggest mistake of his life when he didn't make Amy Irving sign a proper prenup before marrying the actress. Amy, being known best for her role in Carrie, was considered to be one of the best actors of her generation. Even before the pair got married, they had a pretty rocky relationship, and at one point they had this pretty messy breakup that even caused Amy to lose out on a major role in Indiana Jones. The two finally did reconnect and got married in 1985, but by the time they filed for divorce and finalized everything, Steven would be ordered to pay Amy a large sum of $100 million, as at this time the judge saw it fit because the popular director was worth over $1 billion. So you're probably wondering how the actress was able to obtain so much money. Well, because when Steven wrote the prenup, he did it on a napkin, and the judge ruled out that the napkin document wasn't legally valid. Number 6. Janet Jackson. So we clearly live in a society that favors men. And if you really think about it, when we think of men in a divorce, we usually think that they're the ones that have to pay big when it comes to expenses. But apparently gender knows no bounds when it comes to money and fame, as some of the biggest female stars have lost millions of dollars during their split with their partner. When Janet Jackson secretly got married to songwriter Renee Elizondo in 1991, it was kind of a really big shock for everyone when he filed for a divorce in 1999. While many suspected that the pair had gotten married at some point, no one realized it was for that long and that it could fall apart also behind closed doors, especially since he was always around, with Renee producing some of her biggest hits, directing some of her music videos, and even using his hand to cover Janet on her infamous Rolling Stone cover shot. No one would know that later Janet would lose millions after the divorce was finalized. Renee filed to question its validity and ended up walking away from the marriage with a whopping sum of $10 million. Number 5. Scott Disick. Back in 2022, tensions between Scott Disick and the Kardashian-Jenner family would be at an all-time high after Scott took it upon himself to discuss the current situation going on with him and Kourtney, and his expression would also linger over how he felt about his family as a whole. The whole situation would come after Scott was left fuming because the family chose to leave him out of family events, something they've never chosen to do before. On an episode of The Kardashians, fans would see Scott letting all of his feelings loose by telling the entire Kardashian family how he really feels about being left out of the family events. When Kris invited Scott to a diner for brunch, she would tell him that they were celebrating her birthday there because she was trying to spare Scott's feelings, because she was actually having a bigger party at her new home and didn't invite him. While Kris was lying to Scott, he quickly caught on that Kris was being untruthful with him. It would then quickly come out that she was having a party and didn't want to invite Scott because Kourtney and Travis would be there. Scott would then be very emotional because he felt like Kris was no longer treating him like family because he was no longer with Kourtney. To make matters even worse, Kendall left him out of her birthday festivities, and Scott having no family, he would be left feeling heartbroken that his only family has completely abandoned him. I'm mostly disappointed in Khloe in this situation, as she's had such a close relationship with Scott, and it's to the point that she just threw him to the side like he was nothing. Number 4. Harrison Ford. Once upon a time, Harrison Ford was married to Melissa Mathison, and they were the poster child of what people used to use as proof to explain that Hollywood stars could stick it out and make a long and happy marriage work. But unfortunately, all things good come to an end. After 21 years of marriage, when the two shocked the world and filed for divorce, Melissa would then walk away with not only just $85 million, but she would also walk away with a percentage of all future royalty earnings from films made during their marriage. This included his earnings that he made in the Indiana Jones franchise. The pair had met in 1979 on the set of Apocalypse Now. Melissa was working on a script and he had a small role, but it's surprising that Melissa was able to walk away with so much money. She was pretty successful on her own, as she was famous for writing E.T. for Steven Spielberg. While we all thought the couple were in love, we all failed to realize that things took a rocky turn for the couple in the last years of their relationship, with the trial separation and a lot of late night bar hopping shopping for Harrison Ford. Number 3, Madonna. It's not like Madonna's ex-husband Guy Ritchie wasn't successful, as he's the man responsible for Sherlock Holmes and Snatch. However, he just wasn't as successful as Madonna, so he took everything he could get. When the pair first headed towards divorce court, it wasn't really a big surprise that he would ask to receive a pretty huge sum of money, because the guy was pretty much a gold digger from the start. Also, the pair did have a pretty rocky 7-year marriage. At one point during the time together, Madonna even pointed out that she was feeling incarcerated by Ritchie, as she felt like Ritchie was really interfering with her potential as an artist, and it was one of the reasons behind why she felt like the marriage had to go down. In the process, if Madonna knew how much her freedom would cost, she probably wouldn't have gotten married to Ritchie, as near the end she reportedly had to pay him $85 million in a divorce settlement. But honestly, if you have to take someone for that much money, it really says a lot about you, especially if you're a man taking that much money from a hardworking woman. Number 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's no big surprise that Maria Shriver would file for divorce from Arnold Schwarzenegger after she found out not only was he having an affair, but he was also having an affair with the help, and he even had a child with her. Among one of the most trickiest separations Hollywood has ever seen, 4 years after Maria filed for divorce, they would still be officially married, as sources would claim Arnold just kept delaying the inevitable. Maybe he knew that there was no way he was walking away from this divorce without paying big, and really, he would be right, since the pair did not have a prenup according to California law, which meant that Maria was entitled to half of his fortune. Feeling bad about the whole thing and how it ended, Arnold then threw in some extra cash as a good gesture. The exact number was never officially released, but estimates put Arnold's fortune around $500 million to $750 million, which means Maria likely got a huge settlement around $250 to $375 million. And coming in number 1 today, we have Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan got divorced to his first wife, Juanita Benoit, he paid one of the largest amounts we've seen someone ever pay in a divorce settlement. Shortly after the pair got married in 1989, they signed a post-nuptial agreement that would grant Juanita half of Jordan's fortune in a divorce. That means when the couple decided to go their separate ways in 2006, Juanita ended up receiving a whopping amount of $168 million. She also got their Chicago mansion, custody of their kids. However, after that many years, there's clearly a lot of respect between the two and they had no hard feelings, as when their divorce ended, it was clean and fair, and none of them aired out their dirty laundry to the press or public.
At number 10, Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. Before Brangelina took over Hollywood, Bennifer was a thing. Actually, I don't know if they had a ship name, but if not, I just made one. You're welcome. Jennifer and Brad's romance story started in the 90s, meeting for the first time in 94, but going on their first date in 98. After 2 years of dating, the wedding of the year took place in 2000 on a bluff in Malibu, because nothing says romance and everlasting love like standing on a cliff. Things were okay until Angelina came into the picture after she and Brad met while working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Fast forward to 2005 and Bennifer was no more. They filed for divorce, making room for Brangelina. It was a whirlwind breakup because of the cheating scandals, as Angie became the other woman of sorts, and even as things died down over the years, tabloids would bring this drama up from time to time, almost making it seem as though things aren't exactly over for this unfortunate love triangle. It seems as though Brad and Jen have reunited in 2020, as they are both now single, but I don't know if you can really call it a comeback from that heavily publicized breakup. At number 9, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. 2013 was a rough time for Twilight fans. Not only were they still heartbroken and mourning the death of their beloved vampiric saga, but they were also mourning the death of their OTPs, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. Since the beginning of the Twilight franchise, fans were obsessed with Kristen and Rob's relationship, wishing that they would take their on-screen love into the real world. For years, the actors had shut down rumors that they were dating until 2011, when they finally confirmed that they were together. Fans were ecstatic, and soon came speculations that a proposal was soon to come, but unfortunately that moment never came. In 2013, while working on the film Snow White and the Huntsman, Kristen was caught cheating on Rob with the film's director, Rupert Sanders. Paparazzi had speculated that something was going on between them for a while, and so they finally got confirmations of this affair when the two were caught getting cozy together. When news of this scandal broke, it got crazy, and soon we saw statements from Rupert's wife, as well as news that Robert and Kristen had broken up officially. This ended with Kristen being labeled a homewrecker, and a lot of people still hate her for it. Rob's heartbreak was heavily publicized, and most people took his side, but really, I think their whole relationship was just a publicity stunt, and they needed a wild way to end it. But What do you guys think? Now before I continue on with the video, please consider leaving a like on this video and check out my gaming channel Viper Girl if you are looking for some more fun content as well. At number 8, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. By now, everyone and their mothers know about Johnny and Amber. Their relationship was highly publicized last year following their trial, but their initial breakup was also a messy ordeal, even though it happened nearly 5 years ago. Johnny and Amber first filed for divorce in 2016, but was finally finalized in 2017. Their divorce proceedings were quite the scandal, as Amber made the accusation that Johnny had been abusive towards her, though now we all know that that was a big ol' ball of BS. In their divorce settlement, Amber was awarded $7 million to be paid by Johnny, and Amber claimed that she would be donating the money to 2 charities, which also turned out to be a lie. And they went their separate ways as Johnny kept their properties and cars. The biggest story to come out of this breakup was the bombshell of Johnny's treatment of his wife. Johnny lost a lot of work because of her claims, and his name was pretty much ruined because of it. Fast forward to 2020 and the drama continues, making this one of the messiest breakups ever. At number 7, Taylor Swift and Calvin Harris. Now obviously we couldn't make a list talking about the messiest breakups without including Taylor Swift. I mean, she's built her entire career on breakup songs, and you obviously can't have the breakup song without the breakup. Arguably one of Taylor's messiest breakups was with DJ Calvin Harris, and though it didn't end up with a lot of upfront hostility, there was a lot of shade, a lot of jealousy, and a lot of drama. After a brief relationship, Taylor and Calvin broke up in 2016, and when news broke of their split, it was speculated that they broke up because their spark had fizzled out and that things just weren't working out for them. No hostility and no drama, they just fell out of love. Things were fine until Taylor went public with her new relationship with Marvel actor Tom Hiddleston a little over 2 weeks after breaking up with Calvin. This started to stir drama because some fans, as well as some news sources, believed that Taylor was only dating Tom to make Calvin jealous. Tom and Taylor were seen traveling together and meeting Taylor's parents. Meanwhile, Calvin was being bombarded by paparazzi asking about his take on this new relationship. Things escalated into the music world as reports came out involving Rihanna into Taylor and Calvin's relationship troubles, and Calvin even alleged that Taylor was still texting him weeks after they were over. This breakup was unnecessarily messy, but it made for some good music content for Taylor. At number 6, Zayn Malik and Perry Edwards. Another complicated relationship here, this time with former One Direction member Zayn Malik and Little Mix member Perry Edwards. After meeting in 2011, dating in 2012, and getting engaged in 2013, Zayn and Perry's perfect world came crumbling down in 2015 after a dramatic and messy public breakup. When news broke of their split, fans just had to know why. These two were loved by so many fans, and for them to suddenly call it quits, people wanted to know what was going on. It was alleged that Zayn broke up with Perry over text, but I don't know if that was really true or not. About a week after initial reports of their split, fans learned that the couple's home was put on the market, and that apparently Zayn had asked Perry to move out of their house shortly after their breakup. Perry was having a hard time with the sudden split, even breaking down in tears on stage at one of her girl group's concerts. Meanwhile, news outlets were reporting on Zayn's parties at his Bel Air mansion. The media as well as fans were divided in choosing sides. Perry was being shown as the blindsided and broken one, while Zayn was being seen as aloof and cold. Not too long after the breakup, Zayn was seen hanging around model Gigi Hadid, and it was thought that Zayn had left Perry for Gigi. Eventually, things sort of died down between Perry and Zayn, with the two subtly shading each other every once in a while. At number 5, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Miley and Liam's relationship was certainly complicated. They were on and off for 10 years before ending things in 2019, and even then, their divorce was messy. Miley and Liam got married in December 2018, but after 8 months of marriage, they confirmed their split and filed for divorce. What made things messy was Miley's unexpected and sudden relationship with Caitlyn Carter. Miley and Caitlyn took a trip together after their respective relationships had ended and entered into a new romantic relationship with each other. A lot of people speculated that Miley had cheated on Liam with Caitlyn and that it was the reason why she left him, but Miley denied those allegations. Liam and Caitlyn's ex Brody Jenner were seen shading their exes for moving on like this, but eventually things cooled off. Miley and Liam's divorce was finalized in January 2020, and apparently it was a very hard time for Miley, as she referred to the divorce as death because it was so big and so public. At number 4, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. This is another one of those relationships that are just hard to map out because they're so all over the place and complicated. Much like Miley and Liam, Selena and Justin were on and off throughout the years, and so their breakup was just as messy because it spanned over a long time. It's almost as though they broke up up in stages before finally calling it quits for good. Really, there is no official ending to their relationship because things were always up in the air. They would break up, and then the possibility of them getting back together was always there. Even when the two of them got into new relationships, things would always somehow come back to the two of them. Justin allegedly got into a fight with one of Selena's boyfriends because he still had feelings for her, and Selena would always be asked about Justin even if they weren't together. The time they spent in the news between relationships pretty much serves as their big messy breakup because, like I said before, it spanned for such a long time, it's like it was broken into phases like the MCU. I guess things officially ended for Jelena when Justin married Hailey Baldwin, and let's hope it stays that way because no one needs that toxic energy again. At number 3, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt doesn't seem to have much luck with his relationships because he has another messy breakup, but this time with Angelina Jolie. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Brad and Angelina met while Brad was still married to Jennifer Aniston, and Angie sort of replaced Jen. Though there was initially some bad blood, things died down and Brangelina was born. Brad and Angie spent 10 years together, adopting a bunch of children and living a seemingly picture-perfect Hollywood life. The two got married in 2014, but just 2 years into their marriage, they got divorced. This breakup was intense and messy, and entertainment news sources were all over this story. Soon, cheating rumors started circulating, and later the matter of the children's custody fanned the flame. During their divorce proceedings, Brad's parenting came into question as allegations were made against him that questioned their kid's situation in Brad's care. Apparently, news came out about Angie's reason for ending their decade-long relationship with Brad, citing that he had gotten into a fight with their oldest child, Maddox, which prompted Angie to reevaluate their relationship. It was tumultuous and messy, but it seems as though they're both living their lives safely and separately at this time. At number 2, Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande. Ariana and Pete's relationship took people by surprise. It was short and intense, and the breakup was messy too. The two started dating in May of 2018, and by late June, they were engaged. They fell for each other so quickly, moving in together and planning their lives together as well. But things ended as quickly as they began, and by October, they were done. After getting tattoos dedicated to each other, they were quickly covered up, and soon the shade began. Shortly after the news of their breakup was broadcast, Pete poked fun at his failed relationship in a comedy set, and Ariana then moved on to subtweeting her ex for shading her. And she even included a reference to their relationship in her song Thank You Next. There was some back and forth shading and dissing each other in more jokes and music, but that all seems to be over now. Ariana is now engaged to someone else, and everyone seems to be moving on now. And finally, at number 1, Khloe and Tristan's relationship absolutely exploded in the media because of cheating and backstabbing and just so much drama. Basically, this whole ordeal revolved around Khloe, Tristan, and Kylie Jenner's BFF, Jordan Woods. Tristan cheated on Khloe multiple times during her pregnancy, including a few times with Jordan Woods, who had been a family friend for years. When news of Tristan's infidelity broke, the internet went nuts, and so did the Kar Jenner family. Khloe and Tristan ended up breaking up, and the family also broke up with Jordan after she backstabbed the family. Kylie weighed in on this scandal, saying how heartbroken she was to find out that her best friend betrayed her like that. The breakup was also talked about on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where Khloe's sisters, Kim and Kourtney, came to her side and seriously wanted to fight Tristan. Their relationship has been rocky ever since, as Khloe only keeps him in her life for her daughter's sake.
Number 10. The TMZ documentary. Earlier this year, TMZ released a documentary surrounding Britney's life and relationship to Sam. Throughout the doc, it's revealed that the relationship may seem fine on the outside, but in reality, they had been having problems for a very, very long time. According to the documentary, Sam and Britney would fight constantly to the point where Sam's bed became the pull-out sofa in the living room. The doc also took aim at Britney's bad habits, claiming that she was hooked on caffeine. But not like, oh my god, I love coffee, you know? It was more like, I want coffee now! Apparently, she had a rather strong craving for Red Bull and would reportedly drink it by the gallon. Her need for caffeine and high-energy substances led them to speculate that Britney was trying to cope with the difficult emotions regarding the relationship. Britney came out and claimed that she never drank energy drinks, sticking mainly to green teas and watermelon juice. Meanwhile, Sam denied several things from that documentary, but he didn't deny the caffeine control problem. Number 9. The cheating allegations. One major reveal from these two getting a divorce is that some proof has been revealed that shows the couple did in fact fight a lot. A few months ago, TMZ actually reported that Sam had accused Britney of infidelity, causing them to have a nasty verbal spat, leaving Sam out of the house and in need of a place to stay. According to the article, Sam had seen messages between Britney and a contactless phone number that were flirtatious in nature. When he confronted her about them, she was more mad than anything else. Sam went through her phone, which was, hey, not cool. The fact that they were were both so quick to anger rather than solving the issue like adults was a major red flag for fans and was the first real heads up that these two were probably heading for disaster. Number 8. The overcompensation. Now, there have been a few times where this couple has flaunted their success in the face of the world, whether it be their extravagant trips to Maui or their wedding ceremony. Money seems to make the world go round for these two, but their overcompensation may be a cry for help. The pair have always been seen with something expensive either behind them or beneath them. For instance, when they were married a little over 14 months ago, the ceremony was drenched in money. The wedding dress that Britney was wearing was a white Versace gown with a long flowing veil. Sam was also in a Versace suit, and in attendance were roughly 100 guests, including Drew Barrymore and Selena Gomez, and even Madonna showed up to this thing. Everyone looked so friendly and cozy, and then they drove away in a beautiful Rolls Royce. Now, I understand wanting to spend a lot of money on your big day, but these guys partied so hard. There were hundreds of thousands of dollars in goodies at this thing. Apparently, the ceremony was not all smooth sailing though, as a few hours prior to the start, Britney's ex-husband Jason Alexander made his way onto the property where he was not invited. A security team took him down and held him until the cops arrived. Now, whether it was the universe or Jason's jealousy, the rocky start to their ceremony was certainly a warning that this was not going to work out. Number 7. Sam's typecasting. Britney is of course a pop singing sensation, which means that she's filmed a few music videos in her time. One of the first red flags came very early on in their relationship. They met on set of her music video for the song Slumber Party as her love interest on the song Slumber Party, where he played her love interest and arm candy. Sam had previously been featured in a music video for Fifth Harmony where he was also a hunky silent man, but this time he was a construction worker. Spending so much time with Sam as her man in the video must have convinced her that he was her one and only. Following the rap, these two continued to see each other constantly, with many paparazzo spotting them out at dinner or shopping. But it was revealed in the TMZ documentary previously mentioned that Britney continued to treat him as some pretty face that she was meant to direct. He recalls several fights over the way that he was being spoken to or the way that things were being done. Over the following months, anytime they were photographed together, they just looked awkward, like they're posing for a picture that they just really don't want to take. Number 6. The New York Times defense. Asghari. Asghari spoke out to defend Britney after a New York Times documentary took a closer look at her life and career amid her legal battles against her father. Her father, Jamie Spears, removed as her conservator. He told people it was important to understand that Sam had zero respect for someone trying to control their relationship and constantly throwing obstacles in their way. He wrote to his Instagram story in February of 2021 that, in his opinion, Jamie is a total Dick Van Dyke. Not really, he just said. He also said, "I won't get too deep into details because he respected his own privacy and he did not come to this country to be held back from expressing his opinions." The comments came a day after he gave a statement to People magazine amid social media speculation about Britney. He held a very solid defense and maintained that any and all rumors about himself or Britney were just not true. The rumors, of course, were that the couple had been suffering some kind of an issue, but it was behind the scenes. Of course, it turned out every single one of the rumors were true, with the possible infidelity scandal being the only one that's yet to be proven. So, the big question is, why did Sam deny the allegations so hard if he knew that there was something to them? Why spend more time with Britney when he seemed to have some idea that it wasn't working out? This was all before they were even engaged. So why would Sam double down? These are all questions that I wish I could answer, but until Sam or Britney respond to my emails, I got nothing. Number 5. Sam's painful smile. Since the split was announced, more and more articles have come out of the woodwork containing various pictures from over the years. Now, this entry is for entertainment purposes. I didn't find anything to back up this theory, but can we just agree that this man looks uncomfortable like half of the time he's with Britney? In a ton of pictures, you can see he has this nice smile, but there are some where he just looks disheveled, like Britney just stepped on his toes moments before capturing the moment. My theory is that Sam has been trying to send us subtle messages, literally photographing himself crying for help. Now, I know what you're thinking, but hear me out. This guy is a professional model. It is his job to smile and look good on camera, but for some reason when Britney is around, his instincts go away and instead he goes to, please go away. There are several photos of them in the most beautiful places in the world where one should not be able to wipe the smile off of their face. But Sam looks like he just smelled something terrible and it might be Britney. I don't know if there is much to that one, but hey, you never know. And yes, I'm aware I just spent a couple minutes roasting a model. No need to remind me I'm not one in the comments. Number 4. The workout takes. Brittany's husband Sam is of course involved in the fitness world. Just look at this guy, his body is fueled by protein powder and Joe Rogan's podcast. But Sam actually used to be a bit of a heavyset man, going through a massive weight loss transformation before ever meeting Brittany. His story seemed to inspire her, as throughout the majority of 2019 and 2020, Brittany and Sam were chronicling their fitness journey as a couple online, sharing workout clips and publicly tracking their goals. While doing a small interview for the Associated Press, the couple told the outlet that they took over 40 takes of their intense workout, with Brittany claiming to have been in an enormous amount of pain. However, the fact that they cared about getting the right take so much is a massive red flag. Instead of just working out together and bonding, they decided to get as much clout as they could. The more uploads for these two, the better. Sam was barely bothered by the workout. In fact, the entire time you can see him silently judging Brittany. If they were truly in love, Sam would have seen her pain and made her comfortable, but instead, she was made to suffer. Number 3, they couldn't even share a bike together. Taking one of the top spots on our list is the most concerning and disturbing red flag of all. These guys had a chance to share a tandem bike together, and they didn't. What? In June 2019, Brittany posted a picture of herself and Sam on bikes riding through a park with the caption, "I'm so blessed to have this in my neighborhood." To which Sam cheekily commented, "Do you mean the lake or that handsome gentleman?" There are 2 red flags here. The first, of course, being that the pair are simply riding bikes together and not on a 2-person bike like they do in the movies. The second is Brittany's wording. In the post, she never actually says anything nice about her hubby. She responds to his comment, but it wasn't filled with love, it was filled with sarcasm. As I will mention later in this list, when it comes time to post things about lovey-dovey stuff, Brittany has a tendency to forget about Sam. I have no idea if some of these things are true on this list. This is for entertainment purposes, but man, I wish I had a direct line to Britney Spears. That would be a very interesting phone call. Number 2, Sam sleeps on the couch. When it comes to a lover's quarrel, Sam and Brittany are expert fire starters, able to rile each other up in an instant. One of the major reveals since the announcement of their split was the confirmation that there was a significant fight at some point in recent history. A story revealed in the TMZ documentary that Sam was spending most nights on the couch, wishing he could figure out what he did wrong. They had been having issues over the public image being presented by news outlets because they were somehow getting crucial information that caused severe stress for the couple. Whenever they would try to deal with their problems though, it ended in a massive blowout. Not long after the TMZ documentary was released, Sam was seen spiraling in public. Photos have since been wiped from the internet, but the idea of Sam sitting somewhere sad is not a fun sight. Brittany was probably in the exact same state, which may explain some of her more questionable behavior this past year. Don't believe me? Just check out her TikTok. And at number 1, he loves her, but she doesn't love him. One major sign that this relationship was not working out were the several posts made about each other and the huge differences between them. Whenever Sam posts something about Brittany, it's like he's trying to write her a poem every single time. It's so eloquent and well thought out. Whereas when Brittany posts the photo, it's just like, luckiest girl around, #part date. This poor dude is laying awake at night trying to come up with a sweet way to wish his girl a happy birthday online, but Brittany's the type to just send a cake emoji and a little winky face. Through the majority of their relationship, there are dozens of examples of Sam trying to be a sweet man and express himself when Brittany is just giving him very little back. Sure, if it's a special occasion or something, she'll make a nice big post or snap a pic, but it's nothing major. Throughout their entire relationship, it's very clear who is putting in the most effort, which is why the news of her possibly cheating on him is devastating to fans. So far, there is no proof that this has actually taken place, but something tells me that more info will be revealed over the next few weeks.
At number 10, we have Meghan Markle and Princess Diana's similarities. People can't help but compare Meghan to her late mother-in-law. Their progressive viewpoints and the public's opinions of them align, and people worry that she could have a similar fate. It didn't help that just a couple of weeks ago, it was reported that after attending a charity event in New York, Prince Harry, Meghan, and Meghan's mother Doria were in a car chase. Similar to Princess Diana's tragic accident, they were chased by paparazzi. There were claims that the chase lasted 2 hours, but the police officers that helped the royal family security didn't mention anything about a car chase. As it turns out, this was an over-exaggerated version of what really happened. While they were hounded by paparazzi, there was no car chase. All three made it to their destination safe and sound, as there was no evidence showing that they were participants in an adrenaline-fueled car ride. People criticized the royal family for making it seem worse than it really was, as it was described as nearly catastrophic. One of their drivers said it wasn't a car chase and that he never felt like he was in any danger. He did say the family seemed quiet and scared in the car, but nothing big really happened. Next, we have their potential divorce. People started assuming that divorce was on the table when it was rumored that they were growing more distant from each other. Once at a Lakers game, they were set up for the kiss cam segment, but Meghan moved away when Prince Harry went in for a kiss. This doesn't actually mean anything because she probably isn't very big on PDA in the first place. If you think about it, how often do you see a picture of the two kissing? Exactly. While people were assuming the worst, others were defending her actions, saying that it doesn't necessarily mean anything bad is happening between them. Then there were rumors of Harry staying at the luxurious San Vincent bungalows whenever he needed space for Meghan. These claims were immediately shut down by his reps, but sources were insistent that he did so when they fought and he wanted to escape the house. These are big claims coming from unverified sources. As an extremely elite and exclusive club hotel, they don't disclose who stays on their properties, so there's no way of finding out if Prince Harry was ever a guest there to begin with. Next on the list, we have how she didn't want to attend the coronation. Meghan and their two kids were not present for King Charles' coronation. People assumed there was drama and bad blood and Meghan should be the bigger person and go anyways. They thought Harry was hurt and offended that she wouldn't attend this monumental event for his father. Clearly isn't the case, as you have to remember that the couple agreed to stay away from their royal duties 3 years ago. Sure, would it have been nice to attend? Why not? But things have always been weird when it came to her and her royal in-laws. Maybe she avoided it altogether to avoid any potential exaggerated headlines, especially with her children by her side. And that's another thing. It was her son's birthday the same day, and that's obviously a priority too. Despite her clear absence, people began theorizing that she actually did show up, but in disguise. It was mostly a joke, but there were claims that Welsh composer Sir Carl Jenkins was just Meghan in costume. Next, at number 7, we have King Charles' coronation. So yes, Prince Harry attended his father's coronation solo. He was seen at the Buckingham Palace balcony along with his brother William and the rest of the royal family. He was actually sitting away from his immediate family members during the procession. This decision was obviously due to the fact that he and Meghan walked away from their royal duties, so he was no longer necessary to actively participate in it. But King Charles is still his father, so of course he showed up. People thought he was upset that Meghan and the kids didn't go with him, but people also love creating narratives to fit their fantasies. What if he didn't want to go either and he just did it out of obligation? I doubt it, but if we're gonna throw stories around, then why not? It's not like he was the odd one out, but he kind of was, as it was weird to see a prince apart from the other royal members. He wasn't even seated at the front row. He was given a seat at the third row and several seats away from his brother. It was later reported that after the ceremony, he didn't even stay for any celebration and went straight to the airport. During post-ceremony celebrations at the Buckingham Palace, where the rest of his family were, Prince Harry was already checking into his flight back to his other family. Next on the list, we have Samantha Markle's defamation case. Meghan's half-sister, Samantha, filed a lawsuit against her under baseless claims rooted in unverified speculation and conjecture. After the release of the book Finding Freedom, an unauthorized biography written about Meghan and Harry, there was a particular chapter that she didn't like. It was called A Problem Like Samantha, and that alone obviously got her attention. Aside from the book, she also said that Meghan made more defamatory comments during the infamous Oprah interview. She brought up how Meghan said, "I grew up as an only child, which everyone who grew up around me knows, and I wish I had siblings." And she seemed personally offended by that. She also said Meghan's comments in the book and in the media caused irreparable injury and harm to her reputation, as well as anxiety and emotional distress. Apparently, as a result, she also received tons of hate mail, poor media representation, and one stalker. Unfortunately for her, she did not win the case, as the judge dismissed it, claiming the evidence was not enough to prove that Meghan had the book published herself. Next, we have how she made him cut ties with his family. 3 years ago, Harry and Meghan announced they would be officially stepping down from their royal duties effective immediately. In their written public statement, they said they will obviously still be living and supporting the crown and will be splitting their time between the UK and living in California. It seems like it was a mutual agreement and not one based on Meghan herself. This alone shows how devoted Harry is to her and their truth, because the fact he's balancing this all with his reputation and his duties as Prince Harry, that's real love. During the press conference regarding the announcement, he wanted to make it clear that this transition did not mean they'd be walking away from their duties altogether. He was hoping to continue onward with it without public funding, but found that it wasn't an option. He also said, "I've accepted this knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am, but I hope that helps you understand what it had to come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known to take a step forward into what I can hope can be a more peaceful life." Queen Elizabeth later released her own statement sharing her and the family's support for their couple and their choice to live independently from the crown. At number 4, we have security issues. Because of this decision to live independently from the royal family, Harry was more than willing to pay for his family's own security when traveling to the UK. But for some reason, this wasn't allowed. In a statement written by the UK's executive committee, they wrote, "It was not appropriate to support an outcome whereby wealthy individuals could buy protective security from specialist police officers, potentially including armed officers. They were saying it affects public interest because it's publicly funded." I hope that makes sense to you, because I still don't get it. If you think about it, it's kind of dumb. Harry is battling it out with the UK High Court because he wants to pay for security, as in give them money in exchange of their services, and they won't let him. It seems he's lost and they're still in talks of how to go about it. If they're offering him free security and he doesn't want to accept it out of obligation to the whole living independently thing, I think he should just take it. Their safety is top priority at this point. Next on the list, we have Prince Harry's hacker. Harry and Meghan's marriage is so publicized, people will do anything to get their hands on the nitty-gritty details for the next biggest headline. There was often blame put on Meghan that they go through so much and he shouldn't be willing to go through this extra mile for her. Regardless who Harry ended up with, the aftermath would still be the same, as he's been hounded by paparazzi and nasty articles all his life. In 2019, he sued the newspaper company The Mirror for phone hacking after they revealed very personal experiences of his life that no one should have ever found out about. These stories were specifically from 1995 to 2011, and they managed to get information about his family, their relationship, his time in the military, and even stuff about his ex-girlfriend Chelsea Davy. The newspaper's representatives said they once hired a private investigator to gain intel, and other methods were done within the law. Harry did lose the case with lack of evidence, but he did receive an apology from them and other local publishing companies. At number 2, we have how their relationship is always serious. So why would anyone want to be in a boring relationship? People think that just because of their status and all the drama that comes with marrying into royalty, there's no time for joy. They have their responsibilities, but they have fun too sometimes. Remember that Lakers game I mentioned earlier? That was actually a date, because why else would they go to it? They were spotted in the arena, and like many celebrities, their presence was captured and made known to the rest of the audience. They were shown on the jumbotrons, they were part of the evening's kiss cam, and that's all there was to it. A few months ago, they attended a charity gala where they were awarded an award for their philanthropy. On stage, Harry made a joke about how he thought they were there for a date night. Then he turned to the audience and said, "We don't get out much because our kids are so small and young, so this is completely unexpected. It's nice to share date night with all of you. Thank you for coming." Meghan joined in on the joke and thanked him for taking her out, and this just goes to show that their marriage isn't all formal and interviews. They can have fun too. And finally, at number 1, we have his father-in-law. Meghan and her father's relationship was a constant debate. She would describe their relationship as strained, while others on his side of the family said they were close. Nonetheless, Thomas Markle made headlines when he was caught staging photos for the paparazzi. He was famous by association and was willing to participate in this odd photo shoot for the British press. CCTV footage at an internet cafe caught Thomas meeting up with his photographer Jeff Rayner. One of the photos included candid shots of him looking at a picture of Meghan and his son-in-law. Who would even use that picture? It's so obviously staged. It's unclear if he was paid for this or not, but some of the photos were sold for up to £100,000, so I wouldn't be surprised if they promised him a cut of their profits. Later, he did sue Jeff and his media company for publishing photos without his approval, which apparently went against their signed contract. So with all this, is marrying into royalty really worth it? Seems like they're constantly battling it out with the media to uphold their version of their fairy tale ending.
Starting off our listing in the number 10 spot, we have Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. When Miley released her new album, Endless Summer Vacation, some of her fans started to think that the album's lyrics contained cheating allegations against her ex-husband Liam Hemsworth. With both Liam and Miley first meeting in 2009 when they were both filming on the set of the last song, by December of 2018 they would finally tie the knot, and after being in an on and off again relationship for years, after they both split in 2019. When fans began listening to Miley Cyrus's new song Muddy Feet, they were quick to link the track's lyrics to Miley and Liam's relationship, in which Miley sings about smelling perfume that doesn't belong to her on her partner. When she sings, "And you smell like perfume I didn't purchase. Now I know why you've been closing the curtains. Get the F out of my house. I don't know who the hell you think you are messing with. Get the F out of my house with that stuff. Get the F out of my life with that." The pointed track would come just 2 months after Miley released her first single off the album called Flowers, which she also sparked buzz among fans, as it was a dig at Hemsworth and proved that Liam did in fact cheat on the singer with Jennifer Lawrence, and it also went on to highlight the couple's marriage and that it was everything but perfect, and she never was the bad guy like Liam's family painted her to be. Number 9. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. If you think a lot has happened since season 2 of The Kardashians, Kim Kardashian agrees. As in the first trailer for The Kardashians season 3, the mom of 4 can be heard saying, "I don't even know where we left off." When the producer reminds her that last season the Skims founder was dating Pete Davidson, she would then say, "Things changed really quickly." The trailer then took a sad turn after Khloe Kardashian asked Kim if she's feeling okay about everything, and this is where we can see Kim Kardashian breaking down when she says, "No, I'm not okay, I'm having such a hard day today." Amid Kim's divorce from Kanye West, her mother Kris Jenner can even seen being telling her daughter, saying that she has the weight of the world on her shoulders. Later, Kim can even be seen talking about what Kanye had to say about their kids being on social media during their heated divorce, when she said it was the most insane narrative and she was trying just to stay silent through all of the lies for her kids' sake. With season 3 premiering on Hulu May 25th, we know there's about to be some more drama to come with Kim and Kanye's dark divorce, and you can expect us to keep you all up to date on it. Hey everyone, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss out on what we might just cover next. And trust me, you definitely want to tune into the next video. Coming in at the number 8 spot, we have Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. When Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise finally got divorced after being married for 5 years, fans would be shocked to learn that she made a decision to leave her ex-husband because she had reason to fear for her life and her daughter's life. With Tom being heavily involved in the controversial religion Scientology, he has been a well-devoted member of the church. With the Church of Scientology being known for treating defectors with intimidation and brainwashing techniques, when Katie finally realized what the church was doing to her and her daughter, she knew she had to get away. So in order to do so, she immediately went into hiding when the news of their split broke. Katie had to do so because she couldn't let anyone know, including Tom, where she was going, because she had to get out and stay safe. The matter would be resolved in 11 days and Katie would be granted physical custody of the couple's former daughter, and it would even be stated that Tom couldn't bring their daughter anywhere near the church, and Katie wouldn't be allowed to have any public relationships for 5 years as Tom was scared it would embarrass him. But it makes you wonder what the church did that scared Katie so much. Number 7. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. When Brad Pitt starred with Marion Cotillard in the drama Allied in 2016, rumors began circulating online, and in them they would claim that Brad was cheating on Angelina Jolie with his co-star. Of course, as many would remember in the past, the same rumor also plagued Brad when he was married to Jennifer Aniston, as when he was working on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the tabloids kept claiming that he was cheating on Jennifer Aniston with Angelina Jolie. With the rumors reaching a fever pitch, this is when we would see Angelina Jolie file for divorce from her ex-husband Brad Pitt on September 16th, 2019. But the truth would become so much darker than than that. With the story honestly being a speculation as it follows, it is also alleged that the couple's relationship would come to an end after Brad was under the influence on a private plane with his family, and during an argument with Angelina when his adopted son stepped in to defend his mother, Angelina Jolie would claim that Brad actually struck him. And just 5 days later, Angelina would then file for a divorce, but that's not all. The Los Angeles Department of Child and Family Services and the FBI would then be called in to investigate the matter. Pitt would ultimately be cleared, but a long custody battle would end with a heartbreaking ending while Brad and Angelina agreed to share custody of their 6 kids, and Brad and his son have now remained estranged. Number 6, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. During Johnny Depp's and Amber Heard's bitter court battles, things got a little heated for both the stars, and their darkest secrets would be revealed within their messy feud. Shortly after Amber filed for divorce in May of 2016, just 15 months after her marriage came to an end, Amber would accuse Depp of getting into a physical argument with her, and she went on to obtain a temporary restraining order against him. The actress also initially requested that she should be given spousal support from Johnny, but later withdrew her appeal. Johnny and his lawyers have since denied Amber's claims, even after the two finalized their divorce back in 2022. The duo would also enter into a highly publicized defamation trial where they would accuse each other of some pretty gruesome claims. However, at the end of the day, the jury ultimately ruled in favor of Depp and then ordered Amber to pay her ex-husband $15 million in damages after they found and proved she acted with malice to ruin Johnny's career. After the jury's findings, they also did determine that Depp's attorney did make one defamatory statement about Amber, and she would be awarded $2 million in compensation. But the whole trial didn't exactly paint Amber to be the person she was trying to make the world believe she was. Number 5, Kris Jenner and Robert Kardashian. Kris Jenner definitely proved she hasn't always chosen the right path when it comes to her love life. And in the wake of her separation from Caitlyn Jenner, Kris Jenner would state that the only regret she had in her life was the fact that she got divorced from her first husband, Robert Kardashian, back in 1991. Kris would then later talk about her marriage to Robert when she decided to publish a memoir. And in the memoir, she would reveal that her marriage only came crashing down after she decided to have an affair with her husband and their good family friend, Todd Waterman, while she was still married to Robert. Now, you would think that the affair would have been her biggest regret in life, but at the end of the day, she really just regrets that she wasn't able to end up with Robert before he passed away in 2003. Later, the star would also admit that if she didn't cheat, she would have never gotten with Caitlyn Jenner and gave birth to her 2 beautiful daughters, Kylie and Kendall. While she looked at it through that lens, she would then realize that she doesn't really have a lot of regrets when it comes to her life, except for cheating on her late ex-husband. Number 4, James Cameron and Linda Hamilton. James Cameron's ex-wife, Linda Hamilton, has always described James as being a man married to his job. That was until he was gone and got married to somebody else. While James Cameron's 1997 film Titanic sunk his own relationship, his 4th wife, Linda Hamilton, once came out to shade James from the Titanic film point of view when she said, "The Titanic was the mistress he left me for." The Terminator star then went on to describe every year she was married to the director as being one of the most terrible things to happen on almost every level. She also claimed that James was also consumed so much by his work almost every day with his cinematic Leviathan. In the 90s, during the couple's former divorce settlement, Linda would also be able to walk away with a $50 million settlement, and it would be described as being one of Hollywood's biggest divorce settlements that Hollywood has ever seen at this time. James then went on to get married quickly to his actual human mistress, who happened to be the Titanic actress Susie Amiz. Number 3, Alec Baldwin and Kate Basinger. After Alec Baldwin and his ex-wife Kim Basinger finally got divorced, their custody battle would go on over their daughter Ireland for years to come. Eventually, an infamous voicemail would then start to be leaked all over media sites after Alec could be seen calling his daughter, who was 11 years old at the time, a rude and thoughtless pig. While the voicemail definitely went on to paint a not so pleasing picture of Alec, it really started to show how he treated his family. By 2008, the former couple's divorce would then be filed with hundreds of legal documents, 91 court proceedings, and approximately $3 million in legal fees. And things will remain pretty heated between the two. But it wasn't really shocking, as how could you say such hurtful things about your own child? With more than a decade later, in 2016, Kim would reveal that things between her and her ex finally cooled down, as the pair noticed that they had to be better co-parents for their daughter, as their feud was affecting her negatively. But thank goodness they came to that thought. Number 2. Princess Diana and Prince Charles. Princess Diana's marriage to Prince Charles was extremely strained, and when the media began reporting about both of their infidelities, Queen Elizabeth once even had to write them a letter where she gave them one chilling demand. When the Queen urged both Diana and Charles to get a divorce, by August of 1996 her will would be done, as the young couple went their separate ways after a notorious stressful marriage. However, things would become even darker, as after Charles and Diana finally finalized their divorce, Diana would be stripped of her Royal Highness status, so the family could make a mockery out of her. This meant that she would have to curtsy to those who had it, including her own children. Later, Diana would pass away in a mysterious car crash after she started to leak royal secrets to the press. And since her passing has many conspiracy theories that all point fingers at the royal family, as they claim, but seriously, the fact she knew she was going to pass away in a car crash just weeks before it happened is a pretty unsettling thought. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Madonna and Guy Ritchie. Madonna and director Guy Ritchie had a pretty interesting 8-year marriage, to say at least. When the former couple's marriage came to an end in 2008, the Material Girl singer even had to pay Ritchie $92 million in a settlement, and their divorce is still highlighted to be one of the world's biggest divorce payouts to this day in Hollywood history. And if the couple's split couldn't get any more messier, this is when Madonna's lawyers also started to accuse Ritchie of being verbally incorrect, as he couldn't stop calling Madonna a granny. While Ritchie's lawyers have also gone on to accuse Madonna of being emotionally controlling, the world would soon come to know that it isn't really easy to date Madonna, as she rarely allowed her husband to eat meat, and she never let him host his friends at their home. With the two having such a complicated relationship, maybe it isn't exactly a tragedy that they both split up. Coming in at number 10 today, we have the deleted Instagram. Over the weekend, reports all across social media would claim that Ariana's husband, Dalton Gomez, deactivated his Instagram, and in the process, fans have started to speculate that the married couple was headed towards a divorce. According to recent articles, just after fans started questioning Dalton's sexuality, he would deactivate his Instagram page. However, it's still unsure whether or not these accusations regarding who he is interested in or not was actually behind the reason for him to deactivate his account in the first place. With Ariana's husband reportedly not using Instagram regularly, he could have just deactivated his account because he just doesn't want to use social media anymore. With the two being happily married, that hasn't stopped the divorce rumors from swirling around Hollywood, and it makes us wonder if this whole thing is just being blown out of proportion by the public, as there hasn't been any signs to show that the pair are separating online. Well, that's just yet. Who knows what we might see in the weeks to come. Number 9. Still loves Mac Miller. After Ariana's relationship turned toxic with Mac Miller, she would be devastated when she made the decision to leave the late star. Her desire to be his rock and to help him battle through his ongoing substance abuse became a little too much for her, as he wasn't able to accomplish anything that they were working on together, and she understandably couldn't bear to watch him go down this destructive road. Back in 2018, Grande would make her first public comment regarding the couple's breakup, when she would say, "Unconditional love is not selfish. It's wanting the best for the person, even at that moment it's not you. I can't wait to know and support you forever, and I'm so proud of you." Mac would then pass away on September 7th, 2018, leaving Ariana to only be able to wish for her to tell him in person what he actually meant to her, as she expressed on her smash hit Thank You Next, and has since never stopped expressing her love for the star, even as she has moved on in her personal life with her husband Dalton Gomez. But as she falls more in love with Dalton, she's struggling to stop comparing her new love to Mac, and it's becoming really hard for the star, as in 2019 she even choked up during a show in his hometown of Pittsburgh when she got to the part, "I wish I could say thank you to Malcolm, 'cause he was an angel," in her song Thank You Next. And she even had his music playing in the arena earlier that evening as concert goers filled into the arena. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss what we might just cover next. Coming in at number 8, we have the rushed marriage. With Ariana and her Los Angeles real estate husband Dalton Gomez having a year-long lockdown relationship when the pair announced in December of 2020 they were engaged after just 11 months of dating. While both Ariana's and Dalton's families were thrilled about the two getting married, some of Ariana's friends were concerned that the pair's relationship was moving a little too fast. Some even told Entertainment Tonight they weren't even sure if the pair were actually going to last. With there no doubt about the couple being very much in love, but some of their friends thought the arrangement was somewhat rushed and they were very skeptical when it came to the fact that the pair's relationship could ultimately be short-lived. With the pair mainly being able to keep to themselves, they were forced for over a year to just enjoy each other's company, especially since Ariana bought a house so she could live in it with Dalton, and since they've kept their relationship pretty private, so it makes us wonder what could be happening behind closed doors. Number 7, famous friends. It's no doubt that the only reason why Ariana's relationship has made it this far it's because it's been pretty private. However, he tends to be friends with the same circle as Ariana, which could pose as a bit of a stress on the couple's relationship from time to time, as it means they are with each other a lot of the time. They don't really have any spare time to escape like a normal couple would. With TMZ pointing out that Dalton does in fact have other celebrity friends, which include Miley Cyrus, as she shared a story with him hanging out with her other friends back in 2017. We know personally Miley is close to Ariana, as they've even teamed up from time to time to collab on certain projects, and that means her fiance runs in the same circle as she does. Number 6. He was her realtor. Unlike most of Ariana's exes, Dalton is not an entertainer, but instead he's a Los Angeles real estate agent. Currently he serves as a director of estates division for luxury real estate company Aaron Kerman's group, where he works with A-list clients. According to his company's website, Dalton has 7 years of experience when it comes to the luxury real estate market, and during his first 3 years in the business he served as the director of operations, which meant he was running all the day-to-day operations for one of the top luxury real estate teams in LA, which means that the couple actually met when Ariana was looking for a house outside of Los Angeles to be her getaway house, and her team found Dalton to help her with that, which makes you wonder, is it against the business ethics to go on a date with her in the first place, since he was employed by the singer? After all, he helped her find a house. Number 5, she made the first move. So we all appreciate a girl who's brave enough to make the first move, but at times certain girls who made the first move in the first place aren't exactly happy with the fact that they had to be the one to do it. So according to US Weekly, when Ariana was looking for a house outside of Los Angeles to be her getaway home, her team and Dalton helped her find the perfect location. However, Ariana, when she finally met Dalton and saw him in person for the first time, she immediately thought he was cute and very good looking, so she asked her team if they could set up an in-person meeting with him. And from there, Ariana fell very hard for the real estate agent as soon as she met with him. After the two met, Ariana went on to follow Dalton and his tattoo artist brother Dakota, and one of them even pointed out that Dalton and Aaron Kerman had the listing for the property that she purchased. Dalton also went on to comment on her Instagram live one time saying, "This girl is cute," to the point she responded by saying, "I feel blessed." Number 4, hidden marriage. It seems like much of Ariana's relationship is very quiet when you compare it to her other relationships. Maybe this is because Dalton isn't exactly an A-list celebrity, or maybe it's because he wants to keep things a secret. But honestly, it's not really shocking that Dalton wouldn't want the relationship to be in the spotlight, as any celebrity couple who flaunts their relationship in public doesn't end up looking really happy, and their relationships don't really end up lasting. But this, at the end of the day, could be because Ariana has doubts about their relationship. With the pair having a tiny and intimate ceremony with less than 20 people, it definitely wasn't the fairy tale come true wedding for the star, and I think we can all agree everything just looked a little basic, especially since it was a wedding for a girl who legit bragged about that if she wanted something, she could have it. And having those 7 rings, we were expecting big, lavish, and a fairy book inspired wedding. We wanted Wicked vibes, and that's just not what we got. With their romance being so happy and full of love, it makes you wonder why the couple kept their marriage a secret and why it took them so long to announce that they were actually getting married. Number 3. The signed prenup. Over the years, we have seen many celebrity divorces hit the fan. As they involved so much money and problems for the stars. And we have to face it, when it comes to splitting the cash, it wasn't exactly easy. Considering that Ariana Grande is worth $180 million before her marriage, she could have lost an awful lot of money if she went into her marriage unprotected. And many people started to point out that it could have been the wrong marriage. And she even had doubts about this person she was marrying. As when fans came to learn the Thank You Next singer finally did tie the knot with the real estate agent in May of 2021, some of them were super concerned that he was only marrying her because he was after her money. Fortunately, it certainly seems like his intentions were pure according to rumors, as Ariana's husband signed a prenup, and if the facts are true, it was also stated that Ariana's lawyer spent months putting together an ironclad prenuptial agreement which Ariana and Dalton both signed before they walked down the aisle. But it really makes you wonder what was exactly in their agreement and how much Dalton could still take if things were to go wrong. Number 2. Cultural appropriation. Back in 2021, Ariana and her husband Dalton would be accused of mocking Native American cultures in a now deleted Instagram video. The clip reposted by Ariana would resurface online and it would quickly be shared by various Twitter accounts. While the victorious actress and her husband were joined by a few friends, the group could be seen participating in a native dance while sitting at the center of the circle. Ariana could be seen singing, laughing, while spinning a huge piece of cloth around in the air, while the other people in the short video were allegedly whooping and drumming along with her. The singer then went on to receive backlash from a number of upset fans for mocking Native American culture, with one fan writing, "Ariana disrespecting indigenous people's culture. Americans have such a long history of dehumanizing Native Americans, but shouldn't we hold those with a platform to a higher standard, even if it was bare minimum?" As many people went on to drag Ariana, what made matters even worse is when fans started to tell Native Americans who were voicing their opinions as they were upset over the star's behavior, they were being told to shut up, and Ariana just sat there and watched it all happen. And coming in number 1 today with Justin Bieber. For years now, it seems like everyone has been shipping Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber to get together, with both being superstars. They're the same age, and I mean, it's really not hard to see why so many fans believe they could be the perfect celebrity couple. While Justin may be married to Hailey Baldwin, and Ariana may be dating other guys and is now married, it doesn't mean that they're not meant to be together. They have so much in common, and they've been friends for years. For some reason, fate just doesn't bring them together, but that doesn't mean we might not see them come together in the future. From the stars going on tour with each other, Ariana being a huge fan, they got to know each other personally. In 2013, they were even spotted sharing a kiss that broke the internet. While Ariana did come out to clear the air and said that their kiss meant nothing, it made a lot of people wonder if she was only saying this because she didn't want to step on Selena's toes. And can we just talk about all the backstage love they've been sharing behind the scenes together, as we can't help but notice they can't stay away from each other. And with this whole Stuck With You collab, it just seemed like they made the video to tell their significant others they were happy to be stuck inside with them because they couldn't be with each other. But maybe I'm just looking too deep into things because I don't like Hailey.